Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Hello, we're here. We've got a load of questions to get to. We really should just get to them, Ian. I mean, I'd ask you how you're doing, but we got a lot.
Yup. That's right, because we have to get through all these questions that come from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Indeed. Let's start with this one from One Watcher. The 06 Prima Guide says Mephiles was willed into existence by Solaris. Cut dialogue had Mephiles speak as Solaris, saying he bridges every world. Does this imply the Flame of Hope was an extension of Solaris's real being who exists beyond space-time?
The Prima Guide is debatably accurate with lore, and cut dialogue should not be considered lore, so I don't know.
Prima Guides were not official. Even if they say they're official on them, they're not. Just heads up. Allison S. has a question, keeping things vague for those who haven't played. But did you two guess the murder on your first try in The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog?
No, because I thought it was too obvious.
I mean, yeah, they were really, really pushing a certain character. I'm like, there's no way it's that character, because they're really, really, really pushing this one. So I didn't guess who it was until it was revealed.
I mean, there was one who stood out and was like, they have no alibi at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels like they're purposefully not focusing on them so that there's nothing to cover up. Ergo, and no, it was the other ones. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Alpha Monor Yukin has a question. Since the Super Genesis wave changed a normal dog like Mutski into a Mobian, I couldn't help but wonder, what kind of character would Froggy be if he was changed into a Mobian?
Kermit the Frog. Straight up Kermit XP. Trying to get Big to focus or use the initiative or do something, and Big, a body at rest tends to stay at rest. So that's all there is to it.
Man, you were ready for that one.
I mean, really, if there's any excuse to write Kermit the Frog, I'm going to jump on it, but...
Are they going to let you do that if that ever happened?
Probably not, but a man can dream.
I'm being told that Big is like Fozzie.
No,
he's not. Not quite. Although it is funny to think of Big saying, "Waka waka."
No, Fozzie is a lovable mess. He tries hard and achieves so little, but darn it, he's earnest and we love him for it.
Yeah. He's more like Vector.
If Vector had been more of a stand-up comedian than a detective, I could see that.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Here's a question from Andrew D. Are the game Sonic Superstars and the digital comic Sonic Superstars Fang's Big Break canon to IDW? Actually, are all the digital comics, like the Forces, Colors, and Team Sonic Racing ones, canon to IDW?
IDW is part of the mainline canon, and classic and modern are all part of the same canon. So, generally, yes. The Team Sonic Racing one, I'm not 100% on, but I don't think it really does anything to contradict off the top of my head. But yeah, I mean, if it came out on Sega's official social media, it's canon. It's there, yeah.
So the Forces, that's the Forces digital comics, though. That's pre-IDW, isn't it?
Yeah, was it pre or like concurrent?
Like was it in the mid-time between Archie and IDW?
Like it might have been
transition,
right before,
something like that.
Like when IDW was getting started, maybe? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But, if modern Sonic is the basis, IDW is canon to that, ergo any other satellite material that is canon would all be related.
Is it canon? I don't know. Figure it out. Here's one from Mantails. Have you guys watched the Team 4 Stars Boo bits that they made for Totally Not Mark's review of the Boo saga on Dragon Ball Z? If you're not familiar, TFS abridged several moments from Boo, which were sprinkled throughout Mark's review, and it turned out just as epic as you'd expect. They uploaded a Boo Bits compilation to their YouTube channel for convenient viewing.
Yes, and I was not disappointed.
No. And I was not disappointed because I had no expectations because I have not seen it.
The one scene in particular, I wanted to see how they would do. When they said they were done, it was disappointing, but they gave so much. No worries there. But I was disappointed that I wouldn't see what they did with Vegeta's sacrifice. And they did that scene, and they found that perfect balance between humor and drama that they absolutely nailed in season 3. And just, it was like, I am cracking up, but also touched at the same time. Bravo.
All right. Here's one from Anonymous. Any chance that Ian can sing the Sonic Underground opening for us? This was actually already done. You don't have to, Ian, unless you want to.
But I've already done it, so
why
do it again?
Yeah, Spiral Senshi, a patron, actually changed their Patreon name for a while over time, and then compiled it all together into this glorious compilation video that we will drop the link to.
And let's be perfectly honest, that's better than anything I could actually do on purpose.
Yeah, pretty much. Thank you, Spiral Zenshi. Here's one from Aster Disaster. How in God's name does Blues fit that railroad Spikey calls a pompadour into his helmet, asking for a friend?
Advanced technology.
Is the helmets, Mega Man helmets, Robot Master, or Reploid helmets are like Hammer Space? The inside.
Let me put it this way. If he failed to put it on correctly, it would be uncool. But Blues is always cool. Ergo, he always puts it on correctly.
Don't put it on too hard or it'll suck your head in. Here's one from OzJam. For the games and animated projects, the classic Sonic cast is usually mute. And while there are exceptions, such as the comics or classic tales speaking in generations, they're silent in general, which brings to the topic. In general, do you guys think classic Sonic and his cast should speak and have voices, or do you think them being silent is better?
I think it just needs to be consistent, one way or the other.
Yeah.
Like when we did Seasons of Chaos, the first classic IDW story, it was initially pitched as a silent book to match with Mania Adventures and what we had seen in Generations and Forces, and the note came back with, no, they talk, add dialogue, which opens up more storytelling opportunities. Not going to, begrudge that, but it's like no other classic media does that except when it does. So I'm fine with either. I feel like purely visual storytelling is a little more challenging, but you saw how much fun we had it with Mania Adventures. That's just glorious. So
yeah,
I could see it working either way. Just whichever way you're going to do, stick with it.
But Ian, why would we be consistent? This is Sonic. We can't have consistency.
Are you saying they're consistently inconsistent?
Yeah, I am saying that.
Well, then they're consistent, aren't they? Checkmate.
True. If we started having consistency in Sonic now, I mean, it's like 30 years late. Here's a question from Batman69 LOL. In an alternate universe, Sonic's sidekick is Kit the Finnick, and Surge's sidekick is Tails. How would Sonic deal with and feel about someone so dependent and submissive, yet possessive and obsessive over him on a long-term basis, instead of the one issue in the main timeline? And how would Surge deal with a genuine good kid wanting to help her who might push back on her destructive and mean tendencies, but at the end of the day is the only person she has? How would the sidekick feel about their heroes, for lack of a better term? I'm assuming their personalities would be the same as the main timeline, at least when they first meet their heroes.
No, that doesn't make any sense. If we're talking about, a wholesale Kit grew up with Sonic and Tails grew up with Surge, or was formed alongside Surge, they'd be completely different people. Like, Tails would not be Tails. He would have been engineered to be like Kit, specifically to support Surge. And Kit would be whoever he was before Starline got his hands on him. We don't know if it was any different. Maybe he was a sad sack and Starline just kind of amplified it. Or maybe he was a completely different person. We don't know.
Don't lie, Ian. You know.
I have ideas, but part of the tragedy is the mystery, and part of the fun is the tragedy.
Uh-huh.
So it's not really easy to say what they would be like because we don't know who Kit was, and Tails would just be, wholly different.
Yeah.
Now, if anything, it just kind of begs the question of what kind of nightmare would Starline do to someone who's already got two tails? Starline just turns him into 9.
Yeah, I was going to say that, or like, I don't know, give him fire powers. Miles the Firefox.
Ugh.
That's terrifying. I mean, if Kit's going to have water and be blue, then, I mean, it makes sense if Tails is orange and would then have fire.
Yeah, but Kit wouldn't necessarily have the water powers.
No, I know he wouldn't. I'm just thinking of like, Starline's thought. Starline's thought process of being like, okay, what works with this color scheme we got going on here?
Let's see, that one's blue, so this one must be orange.
Yes, I mean, yeah,
Color theory.
Complementary colors. Which is
But
weird.
have
It's just weird that
Surge.
Surge is green because complementary color of blue is not green. But oh well.
Well, in that case, you'd have green and orange characters, and basically it's just a shout out to the BumbleKast.
Welcome to the BumbleKast. It's true. I cut you off. I think. Were you going to say something else, or?
I don't think it was important.
Okay, if you say so. Here's a question from Cece. Beauregard clearly holds disdain for the Kingdom of Acorn based on the history between it and the Southern Baronies. But did he agree with Bunny's parents betraying their own side?
Baronies.
No, it's Baronies. Like Baroni, like Bronies, right?
No, it's the plural of barony.
Barony, but that's baloney, Ian. That's what it is. Evil attack horses.
You want to do that one again?
No, we're gonna roll. I mean, I'll own this mistake.
Okay,
and I will continue to call them baronies.
And I shall do nothing to stop you.
Okay, good.
It's been so long, I don't remember the original intention, but I think Beauregard wouldn't fault them for turning against the kingdom, but would fault them for allying with their collective enemies. Like, sympathize with the motivation, but condemn the execution.
Alrighty. And our last question before we take a break. We're cruising through this one. This one is from Chow Researcher. So in a previous question, you said that Sonic doesn't kill sentient badniks, but is this a retcon? In issue 47 and 49, Belle and Tails find a way to reprogram badniks to quote-unquote help and quote-unquote save them. There would be nothing to save if they weren't at least sentient to some degree. Moreover, what about the more advanced robots like the E100 series, the Egg Fighters, the Artificial Chaos, Captain Whisker's crew, and more? They're all shown to be sentient and experience emotion. Gamma's story even shows us this from his perspective. Despite his more robotic outward appearance, Sonic would have killed him.
Belle and Tails save badniks in the same way people save rescue animals. And if we're going to draw that parallel, then we start wading into the waters of, well, just how sentient are our pets, how truly sapient are other animals, and that's a much bigger question. Point is, your standard badnik, or indeed most of them, are not going to pull a id ego est. They aren't thinking individuals. They are machines with programming that can emulate emotional response, but they are not people. They are reactive at best. When Sonic went to fight Gamma, he went to fight a robot. He didn't stop and give a Turing test to see if Gamma knew who he was deep down. And when fighting Captain Whisker and stuff, he's fighting robots that are actively trying to kill him. He's not going to pull his punches and ask if his hits hurt them on an emotional level. He's fighting robots. And we have not seen an instance thus far where we have an indisputably self-aware robot that Sonic has had to put down outside of Emerald. But Emerald is one of those cases where he was going to blow up the planet. It was a mercy kill. It's not. Here's the thing. There will always be an exception to prove the rule. There will always be that one little instance that goes against everything else. I cannot make a blanket statement that answers every single possible permutation.
Yeah. I mean, someone in the chat's bringing up the Scrapnicks. Someone else is asking if Belle is sentient, or is she more like a typical badnik? It's like, I mean, I think Belle is kind of the exception.
Well, this is the context of the question is Sonic destroying them.
Yeah.
I mean, he obviously hasn't tried to destroy Belle.
No, not yet. He doesn't have a reason to yet.
And the Scrapnicks are not standard badniks. They are all repurposed and reprogrammed by Sigma.
Mm-hmm. Sigma from Mega Man X. No, wait, hold on.
No, sadly, that Sigma lacks the glorious chin.
But he does have a cool cloak.
He does.
Speaking of cool, we're going to be cool and take a break. And then we'll be back with more BumbleKast. We're back, and we are jumping into a new segment here on the BumbleKast. This is the social media giveaway question. We are a lot more active lately on social platforms, thanks to community manager Kazi, who has graciously taken over handling our Twitter, Tumblr, Blue Sky, Instagram, and Facebook. So thank you to her. And as part of that, she is doing giveaways each week on each platform. So as a rotating each week. So for the first one, she started off with Twitter. And when this episode comes out, actually, there will be currently another giveaway on Tumblr. So going on. And also Blue Sky will be involved. And if we can get more followers on Instagram and Facebook as well, then we will also do expand giveaways to those platforms too. So links are going to be down in the description. So be sure to go check out those places and follow them, and maybe you will get a free priority question. This one comes to us from Twitter user CEO of Destructix. I'm one of the few fans of Rough and Tumble, so I'd like to ask, Ian Flynn, what are your plans for the Skunk Brothers backstory? For example, if they have family other than one another, or how Tumble lost his tail.
Currently, there's nothing that I have concretely set up. There's a number of ways we could investigate and expand upon it, but I kind of like their simplicity. You know, if you start getting too into the nitty-gritty, you'd lose what makes them so charming, which is they're idiots and they're bad people. And we love them for it. But, you know, when you start trying to build that up and it's like, oh, now here's their tragic backstory, or here is a reveal that they've always been stupid, bad people, then there are ways to approach it, I'm sure. But right now, I'm kind of content with them being very much like the rest of the Sonic cast. They don't have a ton of backstory. They just are what they are. And we like them that way.
Yeah, I think that works for now, at least. All right, here's a question from Conga. Bumping this question for Nate Ray. There's a 10 rec for Silver called Gold in Archie. There's a 10 rec for Sonic called Surge in IDW. So when is Light the 10 rec based on Shadow coming out?
Well, see, Shadow already has a lot of physical trappings for being a 10 rec anyway, with the false hedgehog thing. So we'll just say Shadow is his own 10 rec.
Yeah, I mean,
I swear if I see a wiki entry saying Ian Flynn confirmed Shadow is dual species, I will burn the internet to the ground. It's a joke.
You've just got 10 wrecked. Also, that is fan idea. You can't if you did introduce a 10 rec, you can't call them Light anymore. Oh no. They'll come up with something else. It'll be fine.
Oh, but I want him to have a potato chip. And eat
it. Here's one from Cool Christy 01. Do you know that Sonic the Hedgehog has more than one 16th birthday in the Archie Sonic comics?
Yeah, probably.
Doesn't he go from 15 to 15 in Sonic Generations?
Something like that. I
think Sonic is lying about his age.
I'm still young. I'm still cool. How do you do, fellow kids?
That's Sonic, yeah. Boom Sonic is like 30. They're all in their 30s in Boom, to be fair. They're all just so tired. Even Eggman. Yes, even Eggman. Here's one from Crab. What would happen if, when Eggman is making an update to Metal Sonic, instead of selecting his newest and greatest firmware, he selects Metal's old firmware from before Heroes? How long does Metal take to try and coup him again, now armed with the experience of what happened after?
I don't think he would. He's already seen how that plays out. Twice, even.
Yeah.
And how the conquest of Angel Island went. So it would just be he would have more lingering frustration and resentment, but he has no mouth and cannot scream, so maybe he would just rev a little harder before chasing somebody down.
All right, here's a question from Domino. Why is Eggman still a free man after literally taking over the world in Sonic Forces? Did everyone just forget he did that?
Who's going to catch him? Who knows where he is?
I mean, even Sonic can't. He's tried.
He's a master escape artist. And if you do manage to track down where he is, he's probably already in a heavily fortified bunker. You want to bring him in? Knock yourself out. Tell me who to inform his next of kin.
You want to bring him in? Well, you best get ready to be invaded by his entire empire, because that's what's going to happen. Dangerous. Here's a question from Dove. Starline's Isekai adventures continue. This time he's ended up in the Gene Wilder version of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. How does his journey go? When does he get eliminated from the tour, and how? Awakening from that adventure, he finds himself in the Johnny Depp version. How does that go? Does he wish he was back in the original?
What in the world is a schnozberry? To be perfectly honest, he would probably ally himself with Wonka. I mean, an over-the-top personality with this vast, intricate, mechanical wonderland that performs amazing feats with all sorts of confections, and he's not above child endangerment. I'd be very careful with my word choice there. Mm-hmm. So, he's quite in line with Wonka's chaotic evil, chaotic good,
neutral. He's very neutral. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of his outrage seems morally based.
I guess, maybe.
The kids being obnoxious or self-centered or destructive or greedy. But then when Charlie is not, he gives him the keys to the castle. So,
yeah.
I'm willing to say chaotic good on that one.
Maybe.
Which, would ultimately fall into Starline's I can fix him mindset. You don't reward the child, turn him into the everlasting gobstopper. In which case, he suddenly finds himself up Chocolate Creek without a paddle. As for the Johnny Depp version, I never saw that, actually. So I can't really riff on that one.
I mean, it's not terribly different, but it's like Johnny Depp's performance is weird.
Johnny,
it's
being weird.
It's definitely worse. I mean, there's no getting around Gene Wilder, though. To be fair, if your movie has Gene Wilder in it, you're probably looking at the best version by default. So, but still, it's why is this a thing? So, I don't know how it would go, but I don't know if Starline would like that version of Wonka, that's for sure. Might hit a little too close to home.
He would enjoy either's fashion sense, though.
I mean, yeah, actually, I think he would. He might he might actually prefer Johnny Depp's fashion. Maybe. I don't know. They're both so good, though. Like, that's the one thing. That's the one thing the remake has is good design.
I think the major takeaway from all this is Starline needs a top hat.
I mean, I thought he had one. Why doesn't he?
Very good question.
Well, I mean, I know why he doesn't now, but why didn't he? Here's a question from follower of Jim Pickens. So, in issue 207 of Archie, Sonic goes on a date with Amy after seeing MonkeyCon with Sally. When I read this, it felt as though it was you setting up Sonic getting together with Amy, but that never happened. Did I misunderstand this, or was there a change of plans?
Nope, you fell for it.
You fell for it.
So Sally's going to stay with Khan. Obviously, Sonic's going to move on with somebody else. No, this was all building Sally and Sonic back together so that she could tragically be lost to robotization. It was all according to Kakeku. So I will take the potato chip and I will eat it.
Yeah. Sorry, Amy fans. Let's see. I'm being told MonkeyCon sucks. It's like, yeah, he kind of did. Ian made him a little better, but not by much.
I mean, the general takeaway I've gotten from folks on that entire story arc was like, Con's okay. It's like, haha.
Yeah.
I did my job.
Yeah, pretty much. He's
made
all
him
right.
palatable.
Oh, oof. Here's one from the chat. Out of all the girls Sonic has kissed, Amy still isn't one of them. Ouch. Oof. Big oof. Here's one from Fox Guy. Since Witchcard and Infinite use magic and Superman is weak to magic, who's winning, them or Superman from the DC animated universe?
They don't use magic. They use unexplained, super-powered stuff.
Magic. It's magic. I don't have to explain it. Listen. I don't care what Sega says. Sega can eat a hot dog.
Which card? No, Superman wins, no problem, easy peasy. Infinite, that might actually be a problem since he could basically just generate kryptonite.
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
The Phantom Ruby seems broken as all get out. If Eggman can generate an entire bloody sun, Infinite could just like make a kryptonite cage and put it around Superman. Never mind magic.
Infinite would have to be smart enough to know what kryptonite is, though. True
enough.
He'd have to. I don't know if he has that much awareness of much of anything outside of himself.
There's also the question of how much knowledge do you have to generate material with the Phantom Ruby? Like, if he doesn't know the chemical composition of kryptonite as an element, could he not create it? Would he just make glowing green rocks and think that's enough?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Perk just kind of walks out of the cage going, what else you got? I mean, Eggman's infamous sun at that proximity should have had a gravitational pull that like liquefied everything immediately. And now we're applying way too much science to the cartoon talking animals. So Infinite would give him trouble, I think, and ultimately, but it's Superman. Of course he's going to win. He's Superman.
Mm-hmm. I'm being asked how he made a chaos. I mean, water.
Step 1, add water. Step 2, add more water.
Just add
Step
water.
3, add spite.
Add angry water. Yes. Here's a question from Geo Knuckles. From my last question, what if Sonic was in My Hero Academia? Which A1 students would also join Team Dark and Team Chaotix with Knuckles?
Joining Team Dark, we'll say Tokoyami. He's got the aesthetic down. Bakugo, because for obvious reasons. And we're going to say Ashido for comedy option. For Chaotix, I could see Koda. He seems like a nice enough guy, and the whole talking to animals thing would help with investigation. Jiro along that line could hear stuff. Hagakure, she's invisible, great for infiltration, sneaky. I mean, Momo's the smartest one of them, so why not? Or, if not her, then Tsuyu. I mean, arguably the even smarter one, depending on who you ask. And Ashido for other comedy option. As for teaming up with Knuckles, we'll say Ojiro. He needs to do something interesting for once.
Ouch. I don't even know.
If not him, then Kirishima. Because, punchy red guy.
I'm being asked if you have watched the anime or read the manga for MHA.
I just watched the anime up through the most current season, as far as I know, and have been actively avoiding manga spoilers because I know it's ahead. And I remember talking to my youngest brother about it, and he's read the manga. And I'm like, yeah, I'm at this point in the anime, and he just kind of laughed in my face.
Oh, boy.
Like, oh, you know nothing. And I'm like, oh? So, yeah. Looking forward to that.
You're in trouble, Ian. I don't know how, but it sounds what it's like. It sounds what it's like. You're going to be in trouble. Might be worth it, though. Gideon Wells has a question. Your house is struck by a magical 90s movie lightning bolt. All your figures and plushes either given to you as fan gifts or you bought as merch become alive, a la the Indian in the cupboard. What's the minimum safe distance from your home city to avoid being collateral damage?
See, there could be an interesting discussion to be had that, except my brother-in-law for my last birthday got me a really nice figure of Broly from the first Broly movie. That kind of breaks any kind of power level discussion right there, since Broly is a galaxy killer. There is no minimum safe distance. I don't care if he's a tiny little figurine. He's going to be blowing up city blocks on a whim. So there is no minimum safe distance. We're doomed.
I'm not sure in my house, honestly. Would this count as amiibo? Also,
yeah,
because I have most of the Smash ones. So,
I would say amiibo absolutely, because the whole point is that they are figurines that come to
true.
life.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Employed by the game world. So yeah, absolutely the amiibos.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think I would want to be anywhere near my house. I know that much. If all those came to life, I have multiple Sonics. I probably should stay away from them. Luckily, the one shadow thing I have is very small, so it's fine. It's terrifying. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'd want to be anywhere near my house if that happened. It's scary, especially with all of Jen's trolls coming to life. We don't need that. Run away. Here's one from Hearts 13. Goth Kids from South Park and Zor from the games and IDW Sonic hang out. How does that scenario play out?
Insufferably. It'd become a contest to see who could out passive aggressive the other. Just the number of dismissive one after another. You think a typewriter's being used.
It's true.
There'd be enough disdainful hair flips to fly a kite.
Does Zor even have hair? Yeah, I guess he does, doesn't he?
Yeah. No, I'll take my Broly figurine blowing up planets first. Thank you very much.
That sounds good. I would prefer that. All right, before we go, we're going to jump into the spoiler zone real quick. These are all spoilers for Sonic Superstars, so if you are not interested in getting spoiled on that, then see you later. But if you are, stick around. Here's one from Alolan Figment. When would Trip's story take place in relation to the main story? It seems less clear-cut that something like Knuckles' story in 3 and Knuckles. I believe it's happening simultaneously, but I wanted to hear your perspective on this if you're at liberty to do so.
I'm not 100% sure myself. I don't think it's simultaneous because Trip doesn't lose her armor or doesn't cast aside her armor until late in the main campaign. But everyone's still sticking around for the final story, the final chapter. And Fang's mecha isn't completed until the end of Trip's story. So not simultaneous, but maybe somewhat concurrent, offset at least. I don't have an official word on it.
Alrighty. And this last one is from Chaos Sonic 1. Sonic Superstar spoilers with a reveal that Trip has a super form, which is a dragon, by the way. Would you say Pandora's box is open on the super form issue and the risk of Dragon Ball Super Saiyan is there? Personally, I'm fine with this if we get Team Sonic improvised supers.
Not quite sure I follow the full logic of that, but Trip is a special case. I don't know. There's a whole lot of lore in the game that wasn't made public, to my surprise. A lot of it surrounding the Black Onyx, and I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about because it's not out there officially. So I would say take all of the weird stuff that you see with the North Star Island and say it's that specifically. Don't hang too much expectation on that. I don't know how much influence that's going to have going forward.
Kind of like Little Planet is time travel, but nowhere else.
Yeah,
kind of like that. Yeah. It's just a consequence of the location, I suppose. Anyway, that's going to do it for this edition of the BumbleKast.
Thank you so much to our patrons from patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members for supporting the show. Also, remember to show us on the various social media platforms such as Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr for your chance to win your own free priority Q&A question. Until then, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Take care, everyone. See you next time.
Sorry, I guess I was choking on spite. All right.
Spite.
That lemon lime flavor.
Delicious.
I meant to cue this up. Sorry.
That's okay. I know how to edit. Supposedly.
Off the top of my head.
I at least have people tricked that I know how to edit. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org. Yeah.
That was, oh, look, Amy is absolutely going to stick with Khan, so Sonic's going to move on.
You mean Sally?
Who did I say? Did I say Sonic?
You said Amy.
Amy. Aye. All right. Take two.
Yep.
So Sally's going to stay with Khan. Sonic's going to move. Wait, what did I just say?
Sally's going to stick with Khan.
I am sorry. I've got like
it's
radio
okay.
static.
It's okay.